Alright, hey everyone, welcome to, I guess this is technically my second episode, but the first one doesn't really count, right? On this show, we're going to be learning about competitive Team Fortress 2, and I just want to let you guys know, first of all, that everything that I do on this show will be posted to YouTube, so you can look for it there if you missed some parts. I know this show is I'm just kind of just winging it, so we'll just see how it goes. As you guys know, for the last 3 weeks, I've been gone playing Guild Wars 2. And I got the world first 100% world completion there, which was pretty sweet. I was on Reddit and everything. But I've ran out of stuff to do for Guild Wars, so I'm kind of back to TF2 right now. And tonight we're going to be looking at an invite match of Space Whales versus Leviathan Gaming. They played on Granary, and it was a pretty close game. I'm not going to ruin the score for you guys, but it was fun to watch. So without further ado, I'm going to hop right into it. And here we go. If there's any sort of like sound balancing issues or any of that sort of thing, let me know. But this is just the demo review of a previous recording that happened 2 weeks ago, I believe. So. Sweet. So we're going through the rosters really quick. Leviathan Gaming is the people you know. Shade, Tyrone's on Pocket, Sizer, and Flame on Scout. Flame is out. Flame is a substitute for Clockwork, which is kind of interesting. Clockwork's actually playing on Space Whales tonight, but anyway, LG has Banny and Dave AC. Space Whales has Mezer on Medic, Blaze is Roamer, Boomer is your Pocket, Dummy is the Demo, and Carmen is Clockwork. So it's an interesting swap here. Like I said, I've been out the last 3 weeks. I'm not quite sure why this happened, but I do know that's a pretty significant difference. Flame, probably not as good as Clockwork. I mean, pretty easy to say that. And but anyway, we'll just see how this goes. LG, I would assume, is the favorite going into this.
I got stuck.
Okay. Anyway, so Banny comes up the top here, and Space Whales come out the bottom. Blaze jumps in to try and deny the garage here, but Space Whales lose 2 very early on, and even though they trade right here, Banny's still up here and just takes mid. Space Whales trying to come back in here, but they're so far out of position they're not going to have it. What's really interesting to look at right here is actually Mezer has had a 20% advantage over Shade, and they could have come in with that Uber to block the point. But they didn't, and they're really far out of position, and this soldier right here on the top of the crates can create an early force here, so it's a good decision by them to not go back into mid. At least I hope they don't go back into mid. So LG will take this round here. Or take the mid fight, sorry. Dummy's setting up some traps here, and Space Whales playing far back, waiting for respawns. Leviathan Gaming has middle points, so they're going to have a spawn advantage, so they're going to have their 6 players faster than Space Whales will have their 6 players. So LG takes a free yard, and we'll see which way they decide to push into this second point here. I believe, okay, so yeah, it looks like LG is going to take their Uber in from the right side here. Okay, and Dummy's doing a good job here. What he's trying to do is when you know the other team's coming through the lunchbox, you want to make sure that you also set up for the lunchbox. So really make sure that you force their Uber as early as possible. And this garage door right here is a really great way to sort of force that Uber early. If you can get stickies on that door, that'll give you a better Uber. So right here, hopefully see an Uber exchange soon. Yes. Mezer kind of went out a little far and got forced unnecessarily early, but Space Whale splitting here. Tyrone looks to be in trouble. Tyrone goes down, trades with Boomer. Right here, Scout on the Medic. Should be an easy kill. And LG takes his point fairly easily. On an even Uber exchange like that, the reason why LG was able to take an even Uber exchange was because everyone sort of turned and looked at Tyrone, and just once you all tunnel like that, Banny just came in onto the point and just started taking people out. So, all right, looking at the second middle fight here. One thing to note real quickly is that Banny comes out the top. He really likes to come out the top, and that gives him a little height advantage. And Dummy comes out this left side usually. Banny comes out the top because it's a little bit slower, I think, and you don't get the health pack, but you have that height advantage and you have more space to work with, and you don't have to worry about scouts. Whereas Dummy comes out the lower side here. Dummy's a little bit slower of a demo on his rollouts typically than, especially than Banny. And since he's slower, it's better for him to come out near this health pack and try and use that health to fight Banny. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Nothing crazy happening here. Spacewhales choosing to come out the catwalk, and that's going to give them some height advantage here. Lots of action going on. Mezzer goes down fairly early, but Spacewhales are looking to take this mid right here. Real quickly, what I want to mention about this is that, oops, even though Mezzer goes down really early, you can still win mid-fight. And you have to think of it like, it's really map specific, but on a smaller map with a smaller middle like Greenery, the medic can't put out as many heals before the mid-fight ends. The mid-fight's going to end within, 15 seconds. And if you take out the medic early, he's not going to put out that much heals in comparison to a map like Process, where it's such a large middle fight. If you take out the med early, you can sort of spread out, and the heals become a lot more of an impact than it would be on Greenery. So even though Mezzer goes down, you have more DM classes than LG has on Spacewhales, and so they're taking middle over here. Not sure what's going on over there, but they're just chasing him out. Shade still stayed up here, so they're going to be able to retake middle with Uber. As my kitchen timer goes off in the background. I'm going to go get that. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. Anyways, Spacewhales have middle, and Shade still is up, so he's going to come in with Uber. Let's see what side he's going to come out. Now when you're pushing middle with an Uber and the other team doesn't have one, what they can do to you is they can wrap, which means that they can just push the side opposite of the Uber, and since middle takes longer to cap than the second point, they can just come around this way and push through here. But Banny's got stickies on the side, so Banny's watching this side right here, so because Spacewhales don't have an Uber, they can't come through this against the demo trap. So they're not going to be able to wrap right here. I'll just wrap around this right side here with this Uber. Tyrone takes out 2 players, which is huge. Coming in with the rest of the Uber is Sizer, and they're going to get middle easily. This is a pretty big blunder, I would think, by Spacewhales. What you want to do is, because Shade stayed up that entire time, they're going to have Uber, so it shouldn't be a surprise to you that they're just coming into the middle with Uber. You should be thinking, oh, they're coming in with Uber, let's force it and then back out. For some reason, LG coming in on the right side with the Uber was a surprise to them and just took out a ton of their players, including Dummy. So a really big blunder by Spacewhales, and 3 down, they have no chance of contesting the middle point. What I'm looking for LG to do is keep taking this advantage here. They have no demo. There's still 2 players down. They should be just rolling into second point here, trying to get a force from Mezzer. So even though you don't have an Uber, you can still overwhelm them with numbers and try and force Mezzer to pop. But they're just going to play it safe here, and they're just going to build an Uber. From the Spacewhales perspective, they don't want to push out with their Uber because they can get wrapped again. And then they don't want to risk losing this round here just because of the bad Uber, so they're going to play it safe, really conservatively, just hold the second point here with the Uber reset. They forced the Uber exchange here in Z, and nothing crazy happening here. No losses from either team. There's stickies all over the place here, though. Banny's done a really good job edging them out. And what LG's trying to do is just slowly edge the point here, but they're not going to be able to do that. Hmm. Yeah, what's going on here? Where's the... Aha, here's the combo. Nothing crazy here, just a little bit of poking going on. This is pretty ballsy from Clockwork, I believe that is, trying to kill Banny or something. Blaze kills Sizer, but yeah, Clockwork goes down, so it's a trade right there. And Tyrone goes down, wow, before the Ubers come, so now Spacewhales have a man advantage. They could consider pushing out here, but Shade's already back to mid. And oh, Flame tries to get a force there, doesn't get it. And so 4 players down. Spacewhales should be hauling ass in the mid here, trying to cap. They're looking for something. They're looking for a Banny trap or something. Oh, Boomer goes down to that Banny trap. And where's Spacewhales? Come on, get in here. Okay here. So when we're looking at the situation right here, you took out 4 of LG's players as Spacewhales. You should be thinking, let's haul ass get in the mid before they respawn, because you're not going to get a better mid push than 4 down. So really questionable from them not taking middle. But even Uber's now in the reset here, so even though Flame's dead, Spacewhales shouldn't be able to push mid. So really interested to see what LG's gonna do here. They're coming in with their Uber. They're not really Ubering yet. Okay, so just a reset to 5 minutes ago. Looks like they want to take the Uber in again from the lunchbox side. Yeah. Early force here, but Tyrone forces Mezzer and then hops upstairs. Boomer takes out Dave AC, and still pretty even right here. No advantage for either team. Mezzer's taking a lot of damage though, 20 health on him. Trading a bunch of players still. The big key here is that Dummy is down, so LG should keep looking to push this, and Tyrone coming out of the top there. I guess Spacewhales forgot about him. Shade goes down, but it doesn't make a difference now, as LG wants to push last. It was looking pretty good there. I really like that strategy from Tyrone. I'll explain after this one. Yeah. I really like the strategy from Tyrone right here. He took the Uber in and then hopped upstairs with it, and then even though the Ubers were even, Tyrone's still stuck behind them and he can do some damage from there. And now Spacewhales have to worry about a soldier up top, maybe possibly coming behind them while they're trying to stop the point from being corner capped. So I really like that idea actually. Even though it was even Ubers, LG was still managed to get away with taking the point because Dummy was dead. So let's look at the third round here. LG's up 2-0. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay. Everything good so far? Everything's good so far. Okay, we're good. Oh, Dummy goes down really, really early. That's ridiculous. I kind of want to see how that happened again. I'm sorry. I apologize for missing that from the camera angle, but I didn't think Dummy would go down in the first like 2 seconds of middle.
I got stuck.
The control point is being captured.
I really want to get the Banny cam for this. I guess he knows Dummy's gonna come out that left side. He always comes out that way, so, or sorry, the right side from this angle. Gets oh my god, he is stickies on a Dummy, and this is just gonna be LG's mid right here. Yeah, YZ50 goes down. When you lose your demo that early, there's really nothing you can do as a Spacewhales, and that's a huge. Well, that's Dummy's fault right there. Both scouts going down for Spacewhales, which is questionable. Okay, what's going on here? Look at this. In the process of Dummy going down, 3 more players go down. When you're Spacewhales and you lose Dummy right away, you need to just get out of mid. There's no way you're gonna win it when your demo goes down in the first 2 seconds of mid. So just pull out and try not to lose numbers while you stall for your demo man to spawn and stop the second point. Instead, LG keeps the pressure going and takes out more and more players, and with that, they're just going to be able to keep rolling into last. So, great job by LG keeping the pressure on, but from Spacewhales, you really want to do a better job of just pulling out and losing as few numbers as possible.
Our control point is being captured.
So at this point, Spacewhales block the point with Uber, which is okay, I guess. Tyrone upstairs again. Okay. And 2 down for Spacewhales, so LG's going to keep pushing in the last. Right here, it's looking pretty even right now, 4 on 4. All they need to do is keep Mezzer alive, but Mezzer goes down to Tyrone, who takes out Clockwork as well. Wow. I mean, literally, all they had to do was keep Mezzer up to keep it even, and since Mezzer goes down, Shay just pulls out. Huge, huge advantage for him, so they're just going to be able to roll in the last with this Uber. And yeah, YZ50 did a really good job on last there, trying to get picks. There's just a lot going on there at last, maybe for Mezzer to handle. Heavy for Spacewhales. Right here, they do a really great job. Well, this sounds gonna be annoying, but Spacewhales do a really good job of an early force right here, and they're running a sniper heavy. So what they need to do right now is play keep away. Just stay away from this Uber, maybe retreat to the back right side of Granary, and stay away. And they're doing that right now. They're playing away from this Uber here. Blaze gets a nice pick. Heavy's still up there on the pipe, and YZ50, Dummy get picks. So this is a really good defense from Spacewhales with no Uber. I think what really did it right there was the early force on LG.
Alert. The control point is being contested. Time has been added.
And now Spacewhales looking pretty comfortable here with a 40% advantage. So they just need to get Uber and then push middle. Without getting wrapped, of course. And the way you defend against the wrap is exactly what Spacewhales are doing right now, which is, you know, cover both sides and make sure you know which side their combo's going. That's the key there. And they push the combo out the right side of mid here. They have Uber right now, so they should be able to cap mid easily. Oh, Soldiers coming in both sides. Get the force on Mezzer. Really great play there from Dave AC. But they lose LG loses 2 players in the process. So Spacewhales get the cap here, and because LG's 2 players down, they should be able to keep rolling through. Shade has Uber right now, so maybe not rolling through, maybe just slow pushing. Okay, let's pause right here. So in this situation, LG has full Uber and they're defending second point, and Spacewhales don't have an Uber at all, but they had a 1-man advantage because I think Flame, or was it Sizer? One of these players, no, Dave AC. Dave AC is a respawn. So at this point, what you want to keep in mind is if you're LG, you have a huge advantage. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to push middle point somehow. But like I said before, you really got to watch out for that whole wrapping thing. And if you don't have control of yard, there's no way you're going to get middle. So a key part of pushing, if you have Uber on second point, is make sure that you have control of yard, and then sticky up the garage maybe, and then push your Uber out the left side, or sticky up the left side and push the right side. Either way, you know that Spacewhales don't have an Uber, so they can't push against stickies, and then your Uber's coming on the other side. So that's how you defend against that wrap. Of course, you could do what Spacewhales do and just play it really conservatively and don't push mid, and we'll see what LG decides to do right here. LG is actually deciding to Uber into middle right here, so Tyrone's coming in, takes out Boomer, but it's only 1 pick here. Mezzer's at 70%, 2 picks, Blaze went down, so no soldiers for Spacewhales. And Mezzer's at 85. I don't think he's going to get in time to block the point here. Someone's starting a back cap? Okay, that must be, I'm going to assume it's YZ50. So let's recap right here. There's a lot that happened. LG took their Uber into middle. Mezzer got out, safe, and has Uber right now, but didn't have Uber in time to block the point. So now, what's happening is there should be 3 players for Spacewhales in their yard, and YZ's behind them somewhere. So LG lost Dave AC, so now they have a 5 on 3, right? 5 on 3 here, and a 1 on 5 from behind. So Spacewhales, yeah, they could try and retake middle here, and try and rescue YZ from behind. I think that's their best option, is to sort of get these respawns here, and then try and push in the middle with this Uber, and then try and get YZ into the mix. The reason why you don't want to just leave YZ hanging is because it's still 5 on 3, well, with the respawns here, it could be 5 on 5, but, you know, it's still, you still have numbers for LG in this direction from left to right, so you have to do something on middle here with your Uber. You can't just wait for LG to clean up YZ and then push your second point with Uber with a man advantage. So you need to try and get YZ out of there, I feel. Let's see what Spacewhales try and do. They're waiting for these respawns, waiting for these soldiers to spawn up. And they need to go as soon as the soldiers get there and get YZ out. Let's see what YZ's doing. I think it's YZ, pretty sure, yeah, that's YZ. He's waiting in the drop down here. Meanwhile, the scouts are running around looking for YZ. Okay. And now Shade gets the Uber. So now it's even Ubers, but YZ's still behind. Players are turning around to look for YZ, and actually LG's combo's pulling back, giving Spacewhales a chance to push in. This is really, really good for Spacewhales, actually. If these players for LG are out of position, Spacewhales can come in, take the height that they need, get a favorable Uber on middle point, exchange right there, and then kind of have YZ come and distract from behind and get some sort of pick or at least a distraction, get them to turn their heads. And this is the best chance they have to take middle, or at least defend their second point. So Clockwork goes down fairly. YZ takes Flame, or trades for Flame. And LG gets forced super duper early here. And Mezzo doesn't pop at all. Really questionable again. When you're the team that's defending middle, LG, you shouldn't be worrying about YZ behind. Yeah, you need to keep him in mind, in the back of your mind, that YZ's behind you and can do some damage. But don't pull your entire team back to take out YZ. What you need to be doing is focusing on Spacewhales combo and make sure you force them early. And what happened was the reverse, was that Spacewhales came in for free and somehow forced Shade really early. Messer didn't pop at all coming in the middle point, which is insane. So blunders from both teams, actually. Both teams. LG didn't get the force early, and Mezzer didn't pop Uber, instead choosing to lose Dummy and Clockwork. So if you were to do this over again, if you're LG holding middle point and you have a player behind you, don't worry about him. Keep him in mind, keep your players buffed, but remember, YZ doesn't have a buff, so you can win a one-on-one. Just buff one of your players and just do the one-on-one. Even though YZ is amazing, you can still handle him, it's invite. And just focus on forcing Spacewhales early. If you're Spacewhales on the other end, great job coming in the middle early for free and not popping, but remember, for Mezzer, you want to milk Uber, but there's a fine line between milking Uber and just dropping players, and you can't lose your scout and your demo in order to milk an Uber. So I really disagree with that play right there. Alright, back in the game here. So now LG has no Uber. Spacewhales kind of got YZ out of there trading for Flame. So Spacewhales still have their Uber and a chance to push middle here if they just get these respawns. LG sort of edging their way into yard here, and Mezzer's playing really far back. He does not want to get forced because they're 2 players down. One thing I want to talk about real briefly is like false numbers. You got to remember that even though it looks like 6 players are up for Spacewhales, those are respawns. So they really only have 3 players here in yard. They want to use this Uber on middle, but ooh, Clockwork goes down to this sweet trap from Benny right there. So you really shouldn't be pushing middle right now as Spacewhales. You couldn't afford to do that. Are they gonna? They're not going for it, are they? They're going for it. So okay. Now, why should I say they shouldn't go for it? Look at the situation here. When you lose a player, it's 6 on 5, right? And then when you don't have middle point, that's a half-point advantage for, I call it half a man for LG. So really you're 1.5 men down, which is really close to 2. When you're 2 men down, you don't stand a chance no matter who has Uber. So 1.5 is so close to 2. I really disagree with this play, pushing middle with this Uber here. Because again, you have to watch for that wrap. So they're coming with the Uber on this side. I'm assuming Dummy has this side trapped. We're gonna see what's gonna happen here. If you're LG, you're looking to get this force here and not lose shade. Tyrone dies to Boomer. And Blaze gets a nice pick on Dave AC, so somehow this play works. A big reason why this play works is because Nezzer didn't get forced at all. So I don't know. I honestly don't know how that worked, but Spacewhales take middle without forcing an Uber. LG must have been playing really conservatively then, I guess. And Spacewhales sneak their combo into left yard here. Looking to Uber in the lunchbox side. LG is not forcing early at all, so a really good Uber here from Spacewhales, even Ubers here. Trading players. Nezzer runs out the Z, and somehow Clockwork does some magic. At this point, LG's combo is so far out of second point. I don't know if they'll be able to hold it, but Nezzer goes down. And yeah, even without their medic, Spacewhales should be able to take this point here. Okay, let's reassess the situation. Spacewhales have no medic. LG has a medic and a 50% advantage. Let's call it 60. For LG, even though you have an Uber advantage, once you get those respawns, you still can't push second point with the Uber. I mean, you can try, but it's pretty risky to try and take second point with that Uber. I would call it an aggressive play, a more conservative play, and the play that I favor would be to just hold last with your Uber and just wait for a reset. We'll see what play LG goes for here, but that's your choice. And either play is still viable. You know, if you go for the aggressive play and use your Uber on second point, it's still viable. But it's just as good to hold on last and just reset. You're on last point. If you push off of last and you miss somebody, if someone goes in for a back cap, you know, that's the worst way to lose the round. So we'll see what they try to do. LG is actually looking to push upper here with their Uber. And with a 40% advantage, they should be able to do it pretty easily. Shade's trying his best not to get forced here, but gets forced in the Z. Not really, but just basically gets forced in the Z. And this was really good from Spacewhales. Spacewhales did this about as well as they could have here. They lost Blaze, but they basically just backed out and you know, LG's scouts are chasing people out into yard and just getting picked off and punished for it. So when you're LG, you know, the scouts should be focused on capping the point, and then the combo should be focused on pushing their combo out. And it was kind of a role reversal there. LG's combo is capping the second point while the two scouts are chasing people out into yard. Pretty questionable. I mean, they almost get the pick on Clockwork, but it's totally not worth it. You're on your last point here, and now Spacewhales have a huge advantage pushing into 2. Even though they don't have the second point, they can just take 2 with the Uber and then push into last, or take 2 on a slow push and then use their Uber on last. Either way, LG's in a really bad position right now. What LG needed to do, if they went for the aggressive play, they needed to come into 2, get as late of an Uber as possible, and then have the most effective Uber possible. Take out 2 players and give them a 2-man advantage, enough to hold 2 and resist the Uber. Instead, LG goes down a player and is down Uber advantage with a respawn disadvantage as well. They're in a really bad spot right now. So Spacewhales looking really good here, taking out both LG scouts. And Spacewhales looking to push too easily. Oh, that's a crits Krieg! Dummy coming in, taking out Dave AC. Boomer goes down, but Shade's already down for LG, and this is pretty much over right here. An easy cap here for Spacewhales, and then a huge advantage going into last. Tyrone goes down, and Spacewhales should be able to push into last easily with this huge quiz advantage. They're just slow pushing right now. LG has no heals at all. And why is he just cleaning everybody up here? The heavy coming in from Clockwork. Should be an easy cap from Spacewhales. Just slowly coming in here. Flame gets a pick on Nezzer, but it shouldn't make a difference at all. And yeah. And 1 point to Spacewhales. So I really attribute that round's loss for Leviathan Gaming. It was a really aggressive play coming into second point with that Uber, and if you do it, you gotta have a really good Uber and you gotta know when to call it off. It's nice that you edge your way in there, but I don't think Shade needed to pop that Uber in Z. You can go back and watch it later. But Tyrone got really aggressive trying to chase their combo out through Z. He didn't need to do that. You could have just capped 2 for free. You know that Spacewhales can't come back in with their Uber. And you could have capped 2 fairly easily without having to pop the Uber. So, it's a blunder there by Leviathan Gaming, and then the scouts tried to recover that and chase out in the yard and died there, and then that was the end of the round. So, great round, well played by Spacewhales. Let's check out this 4th mid here. So, remember, as a recap, Spacewhales here, Dummy died at that last mid within the first 2 seconds here, so I'm expecting Dummy to play very conservatively at this mid. Meanwhile, LG's got to be, you know, the momentum has changed a little bit, but LG's still got to be feeling good about their mids. And Dummy doesn't even show up to middle, I guess? Comes out the garage super late, and that could be a wise decision. We'll see how it plays out. Boomer gets a pick on Tyrone, and what's going on here? Look at this positioning here for Leviathan Gaming, okay? So, when your demo man doesn't show up to mid, as the other team, if you're LG and you're banning and you know that Dummy didn't show up to middle, you should be going crazy aggressive. You know they have 0 positioning. It's a small map. You just need to push across the point and take up all that space before you give them a chance to fight back. And it seemed like LG wasn't on the same page there. Half of their team was playing back on their health pack, and the other half was pushing forward and being aggressive. You got to keep your entire team on the same page there. Both the soldiers very aggressive. I believe that's the right play, but from LG, you're super passive, and there's no pressure on you. Dummy was late to mid, extremely late. Like, he didn't even show up. So, if you're LG, push across the point, take up that space, and don't just give free picks like that. And so, even though Dummy shows up late, Spacewhales go up 2 men and get a good cap here. And well played by Spacewhales. Interesting choice by Dummy to show up super late, but it ends up working in their favor. Some poking around as per the usual. And now we're looking for a reset here. So even Ubers, Spacewhales have middle point, and Spacewhales, if you guys notice, Spacewhales have been going this left side the entire time. In fact, from either team, I haven't been seeing the push from that right yard, which is pretty interesting, considering that last season, that right yard was pretty much all anyone did with a little bit of that lunchbox push. But this lunchbox push is really popular right now. I'm actually pretty surprised that all the teams seem to be, you know, both of these teams seem to be wanting to come out this lunchbox here. We see Mezzer playing really far back. LG gets forced first. What? Boomer goes down, but Mezzer's just milking the shit out of this Uber. Doesn't pop until super late. Tyrone's pretty much going to die right here. And... oh, great save from Mezzer here onto the soldier. Blaze. And Mezzer goes down, doesn't really make a difference. And LG wipes. What happened? What is going on? The last 2 rounds we've seen this. But LG is on the defensive, but they somehow force first. And I would call that a massive blunder. If you're Shade, you're on defense. Your job is to force Spacewhales first, and then have your Uber pop second. That's just how it works here. You know, you're down that respawn advantage, so you have no reason to pop first. Your main objective is to force the offensive team without losing numbers, and through some hocus pocus magic, Spacewhales is forcing the defensive team Uber first. And it's okay to lose one player if you force that Uber. It was really popular back in Check 6 when Harblue would just sack himself to force that Uber. That's just basically what happens here, you know, but a little less obvious. You can't be letting that happen as the defensive team. So when you guys go back and play your own matches, if you're the defensive team, make sure you force the offensive team first, and then, you know, they're going to have a better Uber, or you're going to have a better Uber, and you're going to have to flash, but you're going to at least you pop second. If you pop first, not only do you have respawn disadvantage, but now you're forced to chase the offensive team, and you're supposed to be the defensive team. It doesn't really work out. You really want the offensive team to pop first. That's the only way you really have a chance to survive. And you're seeing, like, it's a huge blunder, costing them the round. So make sure that's not happening to you. And I really call that a turning point round. You know, it's 2-2 right now. And LG looked to have a really strong first half, but then they just couldn't close out the half here. Now Spacewhales are looking to make a comeback. Spacewhales right here had a good last mid with Dummy being late, so they're going to look to try it again. So Dummy comes up the right side, getting really early, great damage on the scouts. Bandy goes down. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna pause that right there. Right here, what happened is both their scouts on this top right crate getting destroyed by Dummy stickies, and then YZ50 coming down this deep left side, taking Banny out. And I think that's why Banny likes to sit up here, is because he doesn't have to worry about scouts. But if you're the demo coming out this side, make sure you know where their scouts are. Make sure their scouts are being accounted for. You can't just be like, oh well, one scout's over here. Where's the other guy? The other guy is running down here looking to two-shot you. So poor awareness by Banny. The scout stacking here, I kind of disagree with as well, just because they both ate the sticky damage from Dummy. And now, once you lose Banny, if you are LG, what your job to do is maybe whatever players are committed to the fight, try and take out Mezzer, and then whatever players that aren't committed to the fight, i.e. Shade, try and get the hell out and lose as few numbers as possible in this process. Right here, Dave AC is going for Mezzer, can't get the kill. This is a crazy exchange right now with a lot of Spacewhales players going down. And it's a 3-on-3 DM fight. Okay, when it comes to these DM fights here, make sure you're keeping height advantage here, just like what Tyrone's doing. What? I'm shocked at what happened here. Yeah, wow. So to recap that mid fight, it looked like Spacewhales won that mid fight easily, right? Early Banny pick, the demo's down, that's a surefire way to win mid, right? And then a sticky onto both scouts, that just gives you the scout advantage. Like, there's no reason why you should be losing. But then suddenly LG jumps both their soldiers onto Mezzer, and players just start going, like, everything just goes to shit. All the players start going down, and now LG somehow evened it out, taking out Dummy and Mezzer. So it becomes a 3-on-3 DM fight. I don't know how you let that happen as a space whale. You know, what you really want to do is make sure that if you get an early advantage, just play really tight and don't let things go out of hand. But once things do go out of hand, make sure that you just, when you're in that DM fight, it's the same things that you always do when you're playing MGE. You know, height advantage, keep control of the health packs, and focus fire. So LG did a better job of that at the end of the fight than Space Whale. So this is a really long mid here, going in LG's favor. I was really shocked though. I mean, I thought Space Whales had that mid for sure. I think it was just a DM thing in the end. Why is he poking out here? It's pretty much reset right now, so even though Space Whales are 20% down, it's not a big deal. Back to your reset. Both teams trying to get Uber as fast as they can. Mezzer's flashing a lot, flashing his buffs a lot, considering it's even Uber. He should really be trying to build a lot faster. Sorry, a little bad camera work there. LG looking to slow push it here. They're trying to like push in the yard without losing the Uber. Boomer goes down, but Tyrone goes down to Dummy, so 5-on-5 here. Whenever you go 5-on-5, you have the respawn advantage, because Tyrone will spawn at middle and Boomer will spawn all the way back at last point. So make sure, even though you're trading, when you're the offensive team and you trade 1-on-1, go for it. Just go for it here, you have a half-man advantage. And I'm really looking for LG to just sort of push in here and do what they can. Even if it's an Uber exchange, even if it's a crappy Uber, like, just go for something here, because this is your chance with your respawn advantage. Flame goes down, so that pretty much kills it right there. LG now just looking to hold and reset. Space Whale is only one down, so they have a chance to push out here if they really want to take it. But they're playing so far back, it doesn't look like they want to re-push out. Danny's actually cornering this point here, might be able to cap it. No, not at all. so pretty much a full reset right here. And see, I'm a little disappointed because you know you're going to reset at the end of the day, so and respawn advantage only comes into effect when players are dead. So when you trade in 5-on-5, when you're the offensive team, you should just go for it. You know, just take your chances and see what you get. And now you're just at a full reset, which is the safe way to play. So it's 2-2. Like, I guess I understand. First half, 2-2. Reset it, play conservatively, but I still consider a 5-on-5 as the offensive team a safe push. Let's see what happens here. LG looking to take their Uber through the Z. Maybe? No? Lunchbox push once again. Alright. And actually LG's taking their Uber up top. Let's see what happens here. Sizer goes down very early. They should call it off right here. LG gets forced super duper early. Super duper early. Mezzer with a way better pop. Chasing Shade out the Z. Can they get him? Shade goes down. Flame goes down. Ooh.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Huge blunder here. When you are LG, what you want to try and do is get a favorable Uber, because you get to call the shot, right? When you're the offensive team, you get to call when the push happens, and you can call it off at any time. So they're going in up top here, and if the second they lost Sizer, you should say, hey, we're one down, let's just reset it again. Just pull back out to yard and just reset it. Instead, they sort of committed themselves unnecessarily. A bad Uber force there costs them the push. And then Shade trying to get out Z has no chance of getting away because Mezzer popped a full like 3 seconds later. You know, an easy kill for Spacewhales. So Spacewhales, again, playing a really tight, clean game from LG. Like, this isn't the LG I know. The LG that I know plays a tighter game than this. If you're Sizer, don't go in so early. If you're Tyrone, just call off the push as soon as Sizer goes down. You have a chance to save that there. So. Spacewhales looking to do the off-Uber push in the mid, perfectly viable.
The control alert. Our control point is
They need to get more players in the mid if they want a chance to take this. And no, Boomer goes down. I would consider that to be a safe play from Spacewhales because even though they lost a player, they still have Uber and LG doesn't have Uber, so it evens out itself in the end. But if you are Spacewhales, what you could have done to take middle point right there is you could have just gotten as many players in as possible. And right there, they only had a medic and 3 soldiers in. Probably because of respawns, I guess. Uber coming in for Spacewhales. Nice job rushing the scout in here because that just pushes their team out. Scouts are really fast and really good at pushing other team out if they don't have an Uber. So Ubering scouts is a great idea when you have advantage. They need to be stacking middle point here if they want to cap it, and no, LG is able to come in with their Uber and block the point. This is a really crazy round. There's a lot of back and forth happening here, and a lot of mistakes being made on both teams. Let's just talk from Spacewhales' perspective. If you're Spacewhales, what you really want to do is come in here with your Uber, get a good Uber, but then while you're holding them out, stack the point. That's what you need to do, is stack the point and try and get that cap here. What happened for Spacewhales is that they came in and they didn't stack it, and that gave LG a chance with no cap time on it to come in with their own Uber and block it. Now they're losing a lot of players. From LG's side, they're making mistakes as well. They're losing too many players trying to block this middle point. If you have a favorable Uber, lead with the Uber and then you won't lose as many players. But if you overextend like what LG is doing right now, you're gonna bleed players. So Spacewhales taking advantage of LG overextending, picking off those key players and then capping the point. Spacewhales have 50% advantage right here. And I'm expecting them to go in the left yard because all they do is lunchbox pushes on greenery. Easy corner cap on the point, maybe, because LG does not have an Uber. It's really hard to defend this point without an Uber if you're not set up. Mezzer gets forced here. And same problem as last time. Same problem. See, you Uber in. When you Uber in and you have the advantage, cap the point. Like Uber in one player maybe, but cap the point while you're Ubering and holding them out, because those are, when you Uber someone in, those are 8 seconds that you have to cap the point. Mezer's flashing everybody, and the scouts are stacked on the point trying to cap it. Mezer's flashing them as they're trying to cap, and they're not getting this cap in time, and now LG is coming in with their Uber to block the point again. So the same mistake repeated twice. Push them out with the Uber, that's great, cap the point. And right here, YZ has no chance of capping. Oh, that's Clockwork. He somehow gets destroyed by Shade. That was awesome. Spacewhales with the repush takes the point somehow. I guess LG got a little distracted by Shade's awesome crossbow. That's actually a big blunder. Tyrone should have been able to easily block the point from the scout. Mass confusion. Shade goes down. And now 70% advantage for Spacewhales. Wow.
Alert! The final control point is being contested.
Alright. There was a lot of things happening there on that round. There was just so much back and forth action, an action-packed round. Action-packed half, I should say. When it comes to that particular round, there's blunders on both ends, like I said. But like I said, if you're the offensive team, just cap the point when you push them out with the Uber. And then if you're LG, tighten up your game right now. I'm expecting the Banny pep talk or the Tyrone pep talk at halftime here. Like, guys, tighten it up. We're overextending a lot, losing players unnecessarily. And I kind of feel for LG that they're just overextending their roamer scout force too much. It seems like their scouts are almost trying to do too much, and I don't see Tyrone and Banny at the front. I see scouts at the front a lot of the times for them. So you can't afford to lose your scouts. Maybe second half, LG should try and bait this, have their scouts bait their other players a little bit better. And then for Spacewhales, that's a great first half for them. I really like the way Spacewhales, it wasn't looking good for them in the first 2 rounds, but then once they changed their mid up a little bit, they're able to more consistently take the middle fights through this sort of passive play. And then ultimately they're holding onto their advantage when they're on the offense. And by what I mean by holding onto their advantage is that they're Ubering, but they're putting themselves in positions where they won't lose mid. And you can repeat those situations over and over. If it's an even Uber and you push into second point and you have middle, your Spacewhales. If it's a bad Uber, you can just back out and just reset. And that's what Spacewhales are doing over and over. It's just bad push. Okay, let's just reset it and try again, and then capitalizing on LG's mistakes. I'm really hoping for some cleaner play from both these teams, but can't expect everything to be perfect. There's, new players on both rosters with the roster switch up, Flame playing on LG and Clockwork on Spacewhales. So let's check out, let's see, we're on the 6th round here. Let me take a second. I need a drink. Alright, and if you guys have any questions, hold them till the end and then I'll try and answer them the best I can. Alright. So Dummy's coming out the left choke, Banny's coming out of garage, and Banny taking some early damage. Banny goes down again early. He can't be happy with that. Tyrone goes down. Trading players on both ends. YZ50 doing something crazy. He's doing a lot of work. Oh my god. YZ finally goes down. Flame doing a good job here, cleaning up some players, and now it's just Flame versus the world. Flame goes down. Shade. What happens here is that this combo did a better job of staying together than Shade, who backed out early, and Flame was stuck here. So, again, same thing as last time. What is happening here with Banny? Protect Banny at mid. The last, I think, 2 mids, Banny has gone down extremely early, and I'm hoping that Banny's realizing that these 2 rollouts are not working for him. He needs to kind of come up back up here because he can't protect himself from the scouts. Like, when you're a demo man on middle point, your main focus is to do damage to the other team and hold them back. You don't want to have to worry about holding them back and protecting yourself. So if you're LG, your scouts need to, protect your demo man and keep YZ off of banning. Like, it's that simple. It should be as easy as just keeping him off. You shouldn't just let a scout WM1 into your demo and just take him out. That's a surefire way to lose mid. What's the ideal positioning for a medic at middle? Keep your questions to the end. I'll try and answer them later. So anyway, Spacewhales here have middle point and a 40% advantage. Looking to stack mid and get their respawns up.
Time has been added.
And they can actually take a lot of ground if they wanted to. I don't know why they're going backwards. Maybe they're looking... What? Why are they going backwards? Okay. This is some new invite strategy that I just haven't thought of yet. I don't know. That was weird. You know what you could have done as Spacewhales? You could have taken yard with their combo fairly early. Maybe they're just playing it safe. Spacewhales playing it nice and safe, and I can't disagree with it. But I can. I guess it's nice and safe. Keep your medic early. And it goes back again to what I was saying earlier, which was put yourself into situations where, you can reset. It doesn't matter that they even up the Ubers. It's not a big deal. They're up around right now. So it's fine. I don't know why you would run backwards, but it's cool. And then again, Spacewhales going in for this left yard push. They haven't done a single push into this right yard here. And it's really interesting that the way that they're doing it. What they're doing is, if you push your combo left yard like this, their LG's combo can't sit in right yard. Because, Spacewhales will simply go behind you and start capping the point while you're stuck in right yard. So by sneaking your combo into left yard, you're forcing LG's combo to pull back to second point in order to defend the point. So this strategy right here is a great way to avoid the whole yard fight. LG's trying to force an Uber at that garage door and then have a better Uber in yard, which will give them a chance to repush middle. If you never have a fight in the yard, then you don't have to force the Uber. You can keep your Uber for second point, which is just a really great strategy. The hard part is getting your medic into left yard without getting forced. But if you can do that, kudos to you. You get a free yard, and then you get to use your Uber on second point. So if you're LG, put more pressure on that garage door. You can't be letting Mezzer just run into left yard for free. Okay. On we go.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
LG starting a back cap on middle, and Spacewhales with the conservative play, trying to back out, kill Flame. They killed Flame right now. Banny kills Blaze though. And, whoa, Mezzer gets forced early from a scout to the back. Uh-oh, not looking good here for Spacewhales. LG did a great job of taking people out with their own Uber. 5 players go down for Spacewhales. LG looking to take middle for free. Dummy is trying to get out. Yeah, set a trap. Dummy's just trying to get out alive here. Scouts all over him. Dummy goes down, so that's a full wipe for Spacewhales. 1 soldier up, Blaze in the left yard here. Really great play from LG. The back cap on mid turned the entire Spacewhales team around, and it's the same thing that happened last time, right? When you're on the offensive and you turn around for that back cap, all hell breaks loose. Just like what happened to LG, now what happened to Spacewhales. You turn around to kill Flame, but suddenly your Uber gets forced because you're in transition. LG comes in with a 4-second better Uber, takes all their players out, and easy mid cap for them. Now LG, they want to just keep rolling through. Use that advantage. Keep rolling through and taking out as many players as you can. They have no demo man right now. This is your chance to sort of capitalize and retake the second point. Purely on advantage, on man advantage. And they're doing it right now. LG coming in, taking the point for free. Spacewhales with no dome man has no response. Clockwork gets caught out there. Boomer trades to Tyrone, and right here, LG's looking for a reset. Reset the game right now. Even up the Ubers here, and then go into your last play. Okay, yeah, reset. Okay. Now, the question you might bring up is, why do you reset? Why don't you just keep rolling into last? And the answer to that is that you don't want to gamble. So, I mean, you're still in transition, right? And when they're EMG, they're really good at these transition pushes, but now with this new lineup, they're not so good. And when you have a new lineup, you really want to just play it safe. Like I said, there's always the aggressive play and there's always the conservative play. The aggressive play, keep rolling into last, keep that transition going. The conservative play, chill it, reset it. You have nothing to lose by resetting it. All you're doing is just postponing the inevitable, which is you're pushing to last. If you decide to go for the aggressive play and you're pushing in transition, well, suddenly, you know, things are all over the place. Now you have respawns that may or may not be there. Players aren't buffed. You don't know if you fully have advantage or not. You're gambling essentially, and unless you're very confident about that transition push, you're gambling it. You know, if you reset it, like what LG is doing right now, just let both teams get their Ubers up, maybe sack a scout, and then you can do your plays. You can sack a scout for a sniper, you can just slow it down a little bit. One of the mistakes that I always make as a player is trying to rush it too much when I'm in transition. But if you slow it down and you just say, hey guys, like, hold on a second, we're up around here, let's just slow it down, let's just reset. You know, there's nothing to lose, like I said. And that's what Spacewhales are doing, and now LG is doing the same. So, Spacewhales here looking to try and get that Uber. Now they fully reset, and they have their heavy. I'd like for Mezu to try and get on the pipe there. I feel like that's a better way to defend, because now, oh, it doesn't really matter. Spacewhales gets forced late. Flame and Sizer take out Dummy and Blaze. This should be a huge signal for LG to continue to push. Spacewhales have no demo man. They're targeting the heavy. Heavy goes down very quickly, and easy cleanup. Not quite sure what happens there. Yeah, not quite sure what happened there for Spacewhales. When you have these sort of even Ubers, there's no reason to just drop these extra players. I don't really know what's happening. I guess there's nothing else to comment on, other than the fact that try and get the early Uber force and then try and back away without losing players. LG did a great job of getting those picks. So, looking back at Spacewhales here, we're tied 3-3. 26 minutes remaining in the half. Bandy coming out the right side now, switching it up. Dummy not showing up to mid again. Peeking out of that. It's really worked for him in the past, so he's peeking out of that garage again, really late. YZ getting a pick on Flame here, so they should be looking to get more aggressive. And the same problem as we've seen before. Actually, Spacewhales destroyed that middle there. They didn't lose a single player, and LG is dead again. I'm shocked here. You know, when you got an asset on your team like Banny, and your demo man is beating theirs to mid, the interesting part about middle fights is that all the fights are always going to be even, right? When you start the mid fight, every fight, no matter what the situation is that you're even. The positional advantage is based on, like, your health is the same, right? In invite, your health is the same, skill is the same, your rollout's the same. You're going to get there at the same time, approximately. So where the difference comes in is that demo rollout, the pre-fight to the actual fight. You know, the 3-on-3 with the demos and the scouts. And you have Banny, the best player in the game. Use that advantage. You have your demo man getting to mid a full 4 seconds ahead of Dummy. Use that positional advantage. So LG's not taking advantage of that. I mean, they're jumping their soldiers, which is a great idea to continue that positional advantage, but the combo itself, the medic is not pushing across the point. So when you're getting there early, push across the point, take up all that space, and then I really like this play from Spacewhales. You know that your demo man's slower. You know, go for this. They're going for this passive play and letting LG come to them. LG is jumping their soldiers in, pick off the soldiers, and then clean up the rest. And you know, great plays by Spacewhales on mid here. I'm just a little bit disappointed in LG. They should be using that advantage. And instead, YZ is just coming up huge every time. Spacewhales here, capping mid, and then they should be just rolling in the last. When you wipe the other team like this fully, you don't want to cap your points as a combo. Let the scouts cap, and just roll your combo into last. See how the combo's already moving into last? Don't give the other team a chance to set up here. Banny is still dead right now, and Shade is still dead. So the other team has no buffs, no demo man setup. All they can do is pull up the heavy here. The team's already in your face on last with this Uber. Great play by Spacewhales here. This is a fairly routine last cap here. Yeah.
The final control point is being contested.
Great. Spacewhales up 4-3. This is the last chance for LG to try and make this comeback. Now it's an LG comeback. Can you believe it? Oh man. Spacewhales here with this great mid. Spacewhales with passive mid, and Banny gets there early. Use that advantage. Come on, Banny. Come on, Flame and Sizer. Let's see what happens here. Dummy shows up early to mid this time, sticking up the garage. It's like he called LG perfectly, stuffing them there in the garage, but can they take advantage of this positional advantage here? Yes, they are. Cleaning up the soldiers again. They're up a man, jumping the soldier onto Shade. Shade with a crazy serve. LG getting huge picks here, but just ends up trading players. Oh, wow. Wow, great job by Dummy saving Mezer. That was crazy there. Dummy got there super early and was able to sort of lock off this garage. For LG, they went up to catwalk anyways, but now Spacewhales are so deep down this side here that they can sort of leverage that. Able to get some early picks here, and then when you're this deep down the left side, when LG comes up catwalk, they can't jump onto this crate because Spacewhales has monopolized this side of the map. So LG has to jump onto the top right crate instead, and that puts them at a disadvantage. The reason it puts them at a disadvantage is because they've sort of lost this sort of positional advantage, this positional game at mid. You know, when you put your demo man on catwalk, like what Banny did on this very last mid here, it's nice for the demo man because he doesn't have to worry about protecting himself from scouts. But it does put you a little bit slower than Dummy coming out the left side fast. That was like the fastest roll I've ever seen from Dummy. And then, again, you're losing this, you're saving your demo man, keeping him up top, but a little bit of a positional disadvantage for your team. Because Dummy came down here, monopolized this entire side, forcing the other team to the other crate, and then from there it was just jumping on Shade. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I'm ruining them. I'm kind of spoiling it. I gotta find a way to cover this in the future, so that, like they do in StarCraft, so that way you can't, you don't get a little spoiler about how the game's gonna go or when the game's gonna end. I'll find a little cover for that in the future. So Spacewhales here, 90% advantage. Hall asks the second point here to try and use your Uber on second before LG can get their Uber. And right here, you either want to do two things. When you're rolling into second point with this huge advantage, you either want to well, the other teams, you have to react to the other team, right? So the other team is either going to do one of two things. They're either going to hold close and try and get an early force, or they're going to hold passive and try and get a force, but then keep their medic alive, right? So if they're holding close, get in there with your Uber and try and kill as many as you can. That would be a really effective Uber if you can just jump your pocket into like 4 people, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? But if they're playing back, you can't do that. In that case, they don't have an Uber, you're 70% ahead, slow push. Try and cap second point without using that Uber, because that's what they want you to do, is have a bad Uber on second point and then have a chance to defend last with their own Uber. So, back to the game here. Spacewhales see that LG is playing really far back, and so they're going to go for this sort of slow push through, I think Z, right? Z? Please tell me Z. Upstairs? Where are they? Where'd they go? Where did they go? They went all the way around to this side. Ubering in. Uber takes out Tyrone. He needs one more pick in order to make this good. And they're going for Banny. Banny's fully buffed though. I don't think they can get him. Whoa. I hate the sound of the heavy. I apologize. I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm a noob. Okay. The point I want to make here... God damn it, the sound sucks. Right there, right there. Okay. So, what's really interesting here is that they Ubered so early, right? They tried to go through the left door from left yard. They tried to push in and have a... And they went counter to what I said before, right? Like, you either want them to play close and you pop the Uber into 4 people, or if they play back, you slow push it. And instead, LG's playing back, and Spacewhales pop their Uber in around the corner blindly, hoping that there's people there. Boomer just jumps wildly and just barely gets Tyrone. And the problem is when you pop an Uber early and you don't pop it into 4 people, is that you don't get that sort of huge damage that you want. And so then suddenly you're chasing kills, trying to get that second pick in order to make it so that they can't hold middle point. Because if you only get 1 pick, they can just block second point with their Uber and call it a day. So, sound restart. Thank you, Joe. So yeah, as a result of that, as a result of them popping an Uber when they're playing passively, is that now they were trying to chase Banny, right, and sort of do damage to him, but he's fully buffed. Like there's no way he's going down, and now you're in a bad situation. So Spacewhales ideally should have peeked the corner and then realized they didn't need to pop an Uber. Slow cap, nice easy cap on 2, and then one or two things are going to happen. They can reset and then just reset, or LG is going to come in and try and defend it, and they can just pop into them with a good Uber. What's really interesting about this situation here is that because they chased Banny into last, they suddenly were all over here without second point being capped. And now LG has an Uber and a chance to defend the second point with the Uber. So let's see what they do. Boomer gets a really good pick on Flame. And so now when you're one man down, even though you have Uber, you can't afford to leave last, especially when it's 4-3 for Spacewhales. And so even though they have Uber, they have no chance of taking second point because Flame died. Oh, please don't tell me they go for it. Yeah, please don't. Please do not go for it. And look what Spacewhales doing. A really good job of playing really far back away from that Uber. So there's no chance that LG can get a good Uber. LG gets one pick. They need one more, and then they can do something good. But the heavy in the window is posing problems for them.
The control point is being captured.
See, right here, Spacewhales has huge height advantage. They lose a player. They're one down, but a decent Uber from Spacewhales means that they'll be able to hold the second point. And Dummy gets a pick on Banny. This is it right here. Spacewhales looking to take... No! His Messer goes down! I have no idea what happened right there. The Messer goes down, even though Dummy took out Banny.
The control point is being contested.
Please. Surprise heavy around the corner, that's the worst. Surprise heavy. Huge man advantage for Spacewhales coming in the last. Takes out Shade. So now no chance of maneuver for LG, and that's it. 5-3 Spacewhales. Interesting game there. Again, I want to highlight for both teams some sloppy play. I realize that they have new rosters, so that is a deciding factor in it. If you had a roster that you've been playing with the entire season and throughout the preseason for multiple seasons even, and you're confident in your play, I would have liked to see the old LG. The old LG that I know capitalizes on every single little detail, and then they're rolling through the points, you know. And when they have an advantage, the old LG that I know, they would just keep rolling through and push it as far as they possibly could before it's reset. And I didn't see that. I saw a lot of sloppy play. I saw a lot of players, you know, sort of overextending, and then Spacewhales were taking advantage of that. Just you saw that especially in the mid fights. Spacewhales were just playing it nice and passively, and then just letting LG come to them and just cleaning up. And then as far as the rest of it goes, Spacewhales had really good Ubers, I thought, for the most part. I liked the way they played offense. LG just a little too sloppy for me. So let's take a look at the stats here. I'm going to pull them up, and then if you guys have any questions, feel free to fire away, and I'll try and answer them the best I can. How are we doing on time here? An hour? Not bad. Not bad. Did it in an hour. Let's see here. I'm going to show you guys the screen. Oops. All right. As you can see here, let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah. 3-5. Spacewhales took it. Even damage. Really close game. And we saw the third and fourth rounds I felt like were really close. Or the fourth and fifth rounds, sorry, were really close. It was really back and forth. It could have gone either way. If LG would have taken those rounds, they would have definitely won the match, because it's all about momentum. But because Spacewhales got those 2 rounds, they were able to take the half that way. A really even fight here from both teams. Tyrone and Banny doing the most damage here. Flame had good cleanup here. You saw 19 and 20, decent cleanup, being the losing team. Low damage though. For Sizer, good damage, but 17 and 24. So I would have liked to see, it just shows. Sizer was doing a lot of damage, but he's also overextending a lot and getting picked off. From the Spacewhales side, we see pretty even damages all across the board here, and looking at their revenges. Oh, that means basically what this means here is that Clockwork was getting dominated 3 times. I think that's what that means. Clockwork got dominated 3 times. So for him, maybe it's still a good game for him. I'd say it's a good game. Sorry, my roommate had to tell me something. Cool. Alright, let's see if there's any questions here. Is this the game where Tyrone outdamaged everyone? Yes. LG needs a scout that worked like clockwork to clean up on all the damage that Banny does. I totally agree. Okay, so it looks like there's no questions here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this show. I plan on doing more of them in the future. I'm actually planning on doing them every night. I'm doing it 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, starting at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. So after scrims, I'm hoping it's a good time for you guys, and then for the people that it's a bad time for, it's going to go up to YouTube, and then maybe you can watch it later. I'll make some improvements. I'll watch the stream back, of course, and then kind of see what else I can do to make it better. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sort of a break from what I usually do, right? Sort of a break from just, playing Pugs and playing Guild Wars 2 and just being shit in general. I'm actually looking to get more involved in TF2 again, so I'm not on a team this season, but I'm actually going to get really involved with XTV and just do some casting of some low-level matches, and then also just to kind of get good at it, and then also do some camera work. My stream, I think, looks pretty good, so hopefully you guys will see me doing some camera work on some of the higher profile matches. I think I'm signed up for Wednesdays. What else is coming up? So yeah, this show 5 days a week, and then eventually, if the show ends up being good, maybe I'll put it on XTV or incorporate it there somehow. But yeah, just make sure you guys let me know what you think. You can send me a Twitch TV message, or you can send me an email to mrslin@gmail.com. I'll put it in chat. Always welcome to hear feedback from you guys, and I'm going to take the stream down for like 2 seconds, and then I'm going to play some Pugs. So hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you later.